Welcome to a very special edition of the 814 Wrestling
The
Recap.
Hall of Fame edition.
The Hall of Fame edition. AC Norway TV's Mike Edwards and Todd joining us as well.
I still don't get that, but
All right.
We're good.
All right. Well, today I think we want to talk about the Hall of Fame.
It's a very important time of the year.
It is.
It kind of lets these people know how we feel about them, where they are on the totem pole.
Exactly. Not just that, but unless the fans have an opportunity to show their gratitude for what they've done for the business. Now, we did 2 classes for AON, and we did not forget about those people as well. Since we are now 814 Wrestling, we've taken all Phoenix, AON, and Eclipse. Those members are now members of the 814 Hall of Fame as well.
Right.
They're just in the AON wing of that Hall of Fame, if you will.
That's a big building.
It is.
They have their own wing,
They have their own wing.
or is it on an airplane?
No, it's in a building.
Okay.
We're going to make the building shaped like an airplane.
That's a pretty cool idea. Who's
Yeah.
paying for that?
Taxpayers.
Oh, all right.
Just like when the NFL builds a stadium. Anyway,
Sounds good to me.
well, let's get to the first one. Would you like to talk about the first
Hey,
inductee?
who do you think we should go with first?
Well, let's save the biggest one for last. But you can't. We really don't have there's not like a small time person. Let's
You want to do ladies first?
let's do ladies first.
All right. So this year's inductee or nominee?
First inductee. No,
First inductee. I was right.
Yeah, they're inductee at this
I'm
point.
still thrown off by the airplane building.
That's right. We can
So our
say-
first inductee for the 814 Hall of Fame is Brittany Force.
That's a great pick. For people that didn't know, some of the guys that wrestled in AON, she had a hand in help training. In addition to that, she's wrestled pretty much all over the United States, wrestled up and down the East Coast, and in addition was a former La Femme champion.
She was. She was a former La Femme champion and ranked a good bit of the time while she was wrestling in Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
Absolutely, always one of the top women ranked in Pro Wrestling Illustrated, all those magazines. So congratulations to you, Brittany Force.
We're honored to have you.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great first pick. Feel better now?
I do.
Okay.
I got it all out.
All right. How about let's go with the second? Who do you want to pick for second? Well, since you decided to do that little dance,
Hey.
let's.
Let's do it.
All right.
The dance or the next
inductee.
The next
You can go ahead and
inductee.
dance while I do it. The
Let's
inductee.
do. Go ahead.
We're going to say one of the greatest tag teams in Phoenix history, the Starlight Gaze. I mean, you have more history with them than I do. By the time I came into Phoenix Pro, they had basically separated, and Travis Dufour was on a solo career, and Sam and Tyler, they were against each other. You can actually tell us how great a tag team they were.
They were a great tag team. They held the Phoenix Tag Team Champions quite a few times. And it was funny when I met these guys. Okay, they were out in Uniontown, I believe, and they were taking on some local guys that we're pretty familiar with, and we might have to talk about them some other time.
Right.
But when I first saw them, I knew that I had to have them here in Phoenix Pro Wrestling. So there they were, here, and they became tag team champions. Not only that, but individually, they held the heavyweight championship. Tyler Caton was a Grand Slam champion.
Travis Dufour was a great grand champion, as well as leading the Dufour Horsemen when he held all the titles at the same
Absolutely.
time. So both of their solo careers aside, they were an amazing tag team and great solo acts as well. In fact, Tyler Caton is still wrestling with the Exotic Gaze and part of DNA.
I'm definitely interested in seeing them back together again and see what trouble that might cause.
With those two, you
Just
never
saying.
can tell.
So.
We'll talk about the third inductee.
Go ahead. Why
All
don't you
right.
take another turn?
All right, I will. This is a guy I've known for a very, very long time. He was the guy who will tell everybody within earshot. He was the one who gave me the TV in TV's Mike Edwards.
gave you a TV?
You know, he gave me the name TV's Mike Edwards.
The name.
I was just Mike Edwards, and then he called me TV's Mike Edwards, and it's stuck ever since. That man is the one, the only, one of the greatest managers ever in central Pennsylvania, cousin Otis P. Hellenbach. What can you say about this guy from
What can't you say?
everything from the Red River Rebels to the Hellenbach Empire to Static Age? Everything this guy has done has basically turned to gold when it comes to his wrestlers. He's always inspired in greatness, and always entertaining no matter what, whether you like the guy or not. When he was in front of the camera, when he was in the front of the fans, he was always entertaining.
I can tell you, I don't know what they had to deal with as far as with him and fines and drinking in public with AON, because I didn't control that. But moving on past that, the amount of fines that I had to pay for this man. So hopefully, you know, come the showtime, he's got ante up.
Well, he'll probably have that bottle of Jack with him like he always does. I even got to visit the outhouse at one time. And that was quite an experience. You can probably find that on YouTube somewhere.
Oh, I'm
so
sure.
let's give it up for Otis P. Hellenbach. I do believe we have one last inductee. 4 inductees this year. And probably saved one of the biggest names for last. You go ahead and take this one.
Oh, come on, I was just going to let you do that too.
Oh, you did 2 in a row. It's your turn.
Your TV's Mike Edwards.
Thank you,
This
cousin
gentleman
Alex. Thank you, Otis.
spent a lot of time on television.
He has a lot of time, whether he was in the background with Ted DiBiase, whether he was out there with the NWO, whether he was wrestling Ted DiBiase.
Correct?
This man, we've actually had him in a few of our shows. Became everybody, let's just say everybody in the indie circuit has a story about this man, Virgil. And I've heard it everywhere. Everybody talks about it. You see it on Facebook. I've seen it for other wrestlers like, I've got a Virgil story. I've got a Virgil story. That's how much of a legend this guy is in the indie scene. Everybody's got a Virgil story. I've got a Virgil story. I'm sure you've got 2 or 3.
Got a few.
I'm sure I spent some time in the locker room with him. He's a unique individual. And I'm going to say, can I tell him who's inducting him at least?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to give this a special shout out right now. The man that's going to be inducting Virgil is the man who befriended him and introduced him to, it was Eclipse Wrestling at the time. Brought him into Eclipse Wrestling for a couple signings and a couple photo ops. That man is Mark Charles III, the Count, our senior referee. Thank you very much, Mark, for bringing him in. It was an honor to meet Virgil. Very unique honor.
Honor of that, yes.
So there you are. There's our Hall of Fame. Let's get the Virgil picture up there.
Honored to have him in our Hall of Fame as well as everybody else that we mentioned tonight. And we're looking forward to that and having all you fans there to celebrate this with them.
Thank you, and we will see you at the next show right here on 814 Wrestling's Facebook.